All right, ladies and gentlemen. So once we have our uh, cam built, the next thing that you're going to do is that you are going to create work features. Okay. So I'm going to use the example here of the hair cam, and the work features that we are going to build are work planes. Okay. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to construct, and I'm going to select mid plane. And what I want to do is I want to create a plane between this face of the cam and this face of the cam. So that way it sits right in the middle. Okay, so if you see that, it's right in between those two faces. And then I'll just go ahead and select OK. So it's going to leave it just like that. All right. So that's the first plane that we want to create. The second thing that we want to create, the second feature that we want to create is a work axis, and that's going to go right through the center of our object, okay? So the one I want to do is I'm going to create, or construct, excuse me, I'm going to construct through cylinder, cone, or torus. So I'm going to select that one, and it's going to ask me for what face. All I need to do is select the inside of our axle, and it will create a axis. All right. And the final one that we want to create is another plane, but this time the plane is going to be on the opposite side of this. This plane is actually going to sit along the YZ plane right here, at least on my example it is. Okay, but we want it to go perpendicular to the one that we've already created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on construct default offset plane. And since my object is grounded, the axle is grounded right on the origin, all I need to simply do is click on the YZ plane. And I don't need to offset that any sort of distance. And I'm just going to select OK. All right. And you'll see that that plane stays right there and it goes right through the middle of that object. Okay. So we're going to keep these planes labeled, or not labeled, but simply there. Okay. And we're going to save our work. Okay. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on save. All right. Now, what we could do is if we open up the construction folder, or the construction folder in our browser right over here, we have three different work features that we can actually rename. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rename the first one right here. I'm going to rename that mid plane. The work axis, I'm going to go ahead and just keep it as that. But this plane number two, I want to rename that one to angle of rotation. And I definitely misspelled that. Angle of rotation. Okay. I want to rename that one. And again, that's to set that up for something later. All right. So once you have that, go ahead and save your work and we will move on to the next step.